on vacation to the Bahamas, ran into this fellow. And so we knew each other for 2 weeks before we got engaged. And
I'm good. What can I say?
Closer.
So yeah, we've been married 22 years now. In the Bahamas, we bought a resort. We developed it there, developed all 12 acres, opened up the first 4-star restaurant in Abaco, had a hydroponic lettuce farm, built and sold homes, rented them back, had a property management business, built a marina, and we had an autistic son. So we decided it was probably better to not educate him under a palm tree. So in 2012, the highlight of the market here in the US, we moved back to the US, chose Charleston, and thought,
As entrepreneurs, real estate's about the best thing for us to do. I went and flipped houses, and she was my real estate agent. I had the best looking agent out there. So.
I will say that is a very diverse background on leading you into real estate. I love it. I do also know that, I'm not worried about you two in quarantine, being as you can build a lettuce farm. I think you'd probably be surviving off of the land pretty easily. So
yeah.
Outstanding. So we always like to just kind of jump in and get a feel for typically what you do that makes your business unique, which we will get to in a minute. However, I think, we want to really talk about what we're dealing with right now and how the two of you are dealing with, the quarantine type lifestyle, if you would, or, whatever language you want to use to say, hey, we're not going out and getting face to face as much as we used to. Let's talk about the elephant in the room and what we're dealing with. So either Robin or David, whichever one of you want to go, and you guys can play off each other. How are you guys handling all this?
Well, I think for us, we are very, well, I am a very intense person. If you watch any of our videos, you know that I'm like the wound type A. David's Mr. Creative and Relaxed. So really, we have spent a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now, just Zoom calling, collaborating with agents all over the United States, saying what are best practices, what's happening in your market, this is what's happening in ours, just to kind of hone in on what are we doing now and what are we going to do going forward. Now, clearly, every market has their own circumstances. However, what we found is this is actually an awesome opportunity for agents because we can show what our value is, right? In Charleston, we had a ton of for sale by owners, right? You could list your home and it was sold in 25 days, whether, as long as you priced it right, it was done. And we now as agents have put together this plan and said, okay, look, the buyers now have to contact the listing agent prior to the showing. We have to have a ready, willing, and able buyer right now. Otherwise, they're not seeing the property. We have to have a pre-approval letter in hand before you get to see the property. You must have seen it on Google Earth. You must have driven by the property. If it's vacant, you must have walked the property, and it needs to be in your top 3. Otherwise, you're not getting in the home. Then we as the listing agents are meeting the buyers there saying, okay, welcome to the home. Here's some hand sanitizer. Please don't touch anything. And we are then, after that showing, making sure that whatever they've touched has been sanitized on behalf of the seller. And it's been a godsend to enable our sellers to continue to list their homes. And we're seeing sales here. I mean, the market has not shut down. So we're blessed.
Yeah, as it stands right now, that's as things, if and when they do put us in a stay-at-home order, all the more reason to spend more time expanding our knowledge. And and the one nice thing about being with EXP in our virtual EXP world, we've got over 50 hours a week of training that's going on every single week from some of the best and brightest in the real estate business. So
yeah, we're really lucky.
I mean, definitely not bored.
I think, I heard obviously a bunch of good stuff there, but I love the fact that you're looking at this challenge and saying, look, we're going to take control of this and make sure that, fully qualifying to the umpteenth degree any buyer, whether you're representing them or if another agent's representing them, in terms of making sure before they get to the house that every checkbox that could be checked prior is done. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. And you're doing your clients a tremendous service. And then, David, what you slipped in there at the end is take the time for the training. I think that is huge. And in fact, somebody, Dave Reichert, typed in the message, take time to sharpen the axe, right? As real estate agents, we tend to be go, 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 go all the time. And here's an opportunity to learn a new skill, to get better at marketing or what have you. So is there anything in particular that you two are focusing on at this time?
Well, other than the normal stuff, I will tell you, one of the things that we have jumped headfirst in is social media and video. Number one,
that's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, number one, with the video, we're doing daily videos now, which
Okay.
people are really, really liking. And it's not only a branding opportunity for us so that people are seeing our faces nonstop. We have to remember that, you know, we have 8,000 agents in Charleston and we sold 17,000 homes last year. So we've got, you know,
We're going to be thinning the herd.
we've got an opportunity here to stand out as agents and be the voice. While everybody else is taking a 6-week holiday, we can be the agents that are standing out and are talking about the market and talking about real estate. So the everyday video has been like gold for us so far. And we're starting to really hone in on social media. We're working on funnels and how can we do we're doing virtual, I mean, I could go pretty deep into this, but we're doing virtual home tours, and then we're taking that, we're saving it, we're advertising it, we are getting showings off of our virtual tours, and we're pumping money into that online presence so that when this is all done, the person that you call in Charleston are David and Robin, because they were there through the entire thing.
I want to be in everybody's. That's the first person they think of after we get out of this. That's cool. Those guys, those kids, they were great on the YouTube and on the, you know, I mean, especially in this market. That's
yeah, and there's
huge.
so much out there right now training on videos and what to do and how to do it and what equipment to use and how to really have a presence online. So that's really what we're
doing a lot of
focusing
that,
on.
and our company's doing a lot of that. The brokerage is really pushing that hard. This is the time to, as I say, clean your gun, check your sights, and get ready to shoot.
A great analogy.
Yeah, I didn't add the shoot to kill bit at the end, but
Yeah, we know if you're shooting it. Yeah. So I like the fact that you're taking the time to not only connect with your existing clients through your video tour, but you had mentioned that you're investing money into pushing out the video content into a wider audience. And in doing that, when most people, I think the word used was taking a 6-week holiday, that's really a good press. So if we were to compare what you're doing now to how you've built your business in the past or the ways you've operated, what would you say that's kind of the same, or that you know you're kind of accustomed to doing that you're continuing to do while you're adding in this new stuff?
We've always been very heavy on our database.
Yeah.
We have a very robust database program, and we're continuing to do that. We're reaching out to everyone in our database. You know, how's your family? What can we do for you? Not, are you looking to sell your home in the next 12 months, but what can we do for you? And we've had so much positive feedback from that. So that in itself has not changed. I was an expired junkie, expireds and for sale by owners. That's how I started my real estate career, because I didn't know anyone in Charleston, right? Came from the Bahamas. Yes. Whoop, whoop. So I'm the cold call queen. So that's how we built our business. Yet, you know, I mean, there were 2 expireds yesterday. So I'm not really, I'm not really calling any expireds right now. So that's certainly changed.
I think you'll probably see a few more canceled listings coming up as time goes on. And Robin, I built my business on for sale by owners, expireds, and canceled listings. So I totally get that. And it was quite a while ago, but it does teach you, when you could be on the phone consistently like that, the ability to persevere, because it does take a little bit of thick skin to stay in that routine and consistently do it. So obviously it tells me right away you two are battle tested and built to not only survive this, but ultimately wind up thriving. You mentioned to reach out to your database daily, and I liked how you just said you're just checking in. So more the personal touch, more the connection to continue that relationship. Have you gotten any interesting conversations in the last week in doing that? Anything that either struck you as odd or surprised you?
I don't think, I mean, I think everybody here is very positive. I mean, I don't think there's surprises. You know, I think everyone's in it to win it. And we have some friends that are in, you know, healthcare, and they've had phenomenal stories of people just being so strong, and they just get up every day and they're like, yep, we're going to work just like it's another day.
So the main reason I asked is I mean, so I think some people will make up like, oh my gosh, if I call right now, you know, it may not be appropriate, maybe odd. And you're just saying that, you know, everybody's moving forward with the right attitude for the most part, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're pushing that, you know, if there's anybody, if we do call any expireds, I mean, we're positioning ourselves as like, you know, we'll get the photography done, we'll get in, you know, we'll have everything ready to go so that when everything does crank up and you are ready to list, you'll be the first to go, the first to be on the MLS. Because what's going to happen is we're going to have a rebound, and there's going to be limited supply. We had a supply and demand issue before this virus. Afterwards, we're just going to have an even more exaggerated issue with that. So the most important thing is to be up there in front. So I just want to throw that in as far as what we're saying to any
No, I respect that, and I appreciate that. So a couple of questions that came in from our listeners. You mentioned the database. What database are you using? What's the platform? Is it KV Core? Is it KV Core and something else, or?
Yeah, it's KV Core, and we have, with our database, we use the market report function. So all of our clients get, every 28 days, they get a market report, and that's straight in KV Core. They get a customized drip campaign, and I will advise anybody out there who has a couple of free moments to really dive into your branding. This is an opportunity to sit back, relax with a glass of wine, a beer, whatever, if you drink, and say, hey, who am I as an agent, and how can I stand out? And I think we've had, you know, a lot of fun with that. And I think that, you know, part of our drip campaigns are very, very unique. It's who are we as people, get to know us. And I think those drip campaigns will have really resonated with our past clients. So it's not that 12, whatever, once a month drip campaign is very customized for us. So they get that. And then we have them set up on their home searches for their neighborhoods, active, contingent, expired, canceled, everything. So they're, you know, they're the market expert in their neighborhood. So, and then we have a custom drip campaign of tasks set up to remind me to call them 4 times a year. So literally through KV Core, we have this set up where they're getting touched 3 different ways, plus a phone call. We do letters and birthday cards and all of this other stuff as well. They get text reminders, you know, seasonally of, you know, it's time to list, it's the summer, that type of thing. But it's in KV Core. Of course, we keep all the notes. I mean, I live in KV Core every single day. I live in there. So absolutely.
I love it. And I think that's great. I like what a great opportunity for you to get your arms around your clients even more by setting up, if somebody hasn't already set up a 28-day marketing report where the client constantly gets a snapshot of here's what's happening in your neighborhood. If nothing else, that just puts you to the forefront of their mind, and they'll start anticipating and wondering. And in most cases, they'll probably stop looking at other sources because they know they can count on it coming from you. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And I'm stealing that, just so we're clear, okay? That will be my quarantine work.
That's awesome.
So I wrote down from your videos. I want to touch back. What are you talking about right now? I understand the get to know us, but during this time, are you talking about the market? Are you talking about, you know, what's happening with the virus, how it's impacting, or are you just kind of chatting about things in general?
We started off, and when we kind of, the whole thing started, the daily videos was, you know, what do we do during this quarantine process? When you're sitting at home, what do you do? So we kind of put it out there and, you know, offered our services to people. I mean, the big thing is I wanted to get to our older clients to make sure that they weren't going to the pharmacy, that I would be happy. And I do that for a number of clients where I'll go and pick up their prescriptions and take them to their houses. And because I don't want them out. That's the reason why we're doing this. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for them. And so we did that to begin with. Then we delved into the market. We basically have a gentleman here that does the market stats for our area. So we kind of do a market update just on a day, because he's literally doing it every week rather than every month. So we kind of do that, a market update on Fridays, showing, talking about how many closings we've had, how many
just to show people too that the market is still alive. We're only down 25%. Now, price point is a big factor in that, but that for us, it's been good. As far as the conversation with the client, every client is different. So, I mean, I always start with, how are you? How's the family? What's going on? And then I have my business owners that are just like, awesome, that's great. How's the market? What's going on? What's up with interest rates? They dropped to zero. Why have mortgage rates dropped? Why have they gone up? What's going on? When are they going to go down? You know what I mean? And so you've got, those like intense business people, and then that's a totally different, which for me is way more fun, but that conversation. And then yesterday I was on the phone for an hour with the client, and she's just like, I'm so lonely, and tell me about your dog. And, so, we talked about, my kids for an hour, and her dog and the fence problem and all of that. But even those conversations lead to, oh, we want to redo our deck. Who do you know? And so now I'm sending her somebody to do her deck. And so it's just revitalizing that. But mainly you just got to key off that client and what they want to talk about. And, sometimes they ask me what's going on, but sometimes they don't. They just want to vent.
Yeah. What I'm hearing you say is you're coming out with the human side of it, but you're prepared. Like, you are ready for the business conversation. Because in some cases you're going to talk about your dog, and I think you said the fence issue. But for the most part, at some point it'll drift around. So I love it. And, I will touch base on something you said, that, the sales may be down 25%. In every market disruption, there are people that still need to buy and still need to sell. Are you surprised that, the level of motivation for some people that have to buy or sell right now, or were you kind of expecting that would continue?
I'm shocked. I really thought everyone would be at home and just stay at home.
Completely going to halt, but it hasn't.
It hasn't. I mean, there's still people who want to buy and sell. There are people that have to buy and sell. We've had huge results with people in the military because their pay is not going anywhere. They're being moved regardless. So they need to buy homes. And even the construction industry has been nonstop. I mean, we've got new construction homes. They haven't had a day off. So I'm surprised. I thought it would be worse.
Well, and I think that, that speaks to the level of opportunity, right? In every market shift, at least, this is my 26th year of doing this. I had hair when I started, so I'll tell you how hard this industry can get.
Still good looking.
I appreciate that. I thank you. It's my camera face. I did my makeup today.
Yeah.
But the point being is that regardless of the market shift, there's always somebody out there that has the motivation to take advantage of what's going on, right? Like, they have to do something. And number two, you mentioned it. I mean, you look for people that have jobs that aren't going away. What a great opportunity to be a buyer, because much like your market out here in Vegas, we had low inventory. My biggest concern coming into the summer was how everything was going to be multiple offers, and, and your military buyer was going to get pushed out. Your school teacher was going to get pushed out because they're not like, for us, we get people coming from California, with buckets of cash. And our prices here, they're a joke compared to what they're seeing. So they're like, yeah, we'll pay $20,000, $30,000 over asking just to get it. And so I think you touched on a really good point there. And for anybody else on the call, if you're not reaching out to your clients, man, this is a gold nugget right here, because you will find out who's still doing something. That's great.
And that's what I've been spending a lot of time, is like looking into what sectors of the economy are going to be the strongest during and after, and then making sure that we are, targeting our advertising and targeting our promotion to that sector. For example, we're going to offer substantial reduced fees for any food and beverage workers that need to either downsize or have to move or whatever, we're going to help them in any way we can. But we're going to have a lot of, and same thing with medical workers that are going to end up they may end up moving to a different area because they're going to need more help in that area. So we can help them. So I think there's, like I always say, there's always opportunity. And if you can always come from a place of contribution, and the way you think about it, whatever you give out, you get back tenfold. So I'm trying to stay very focused on that.
For sure.
Well, with your hospitality background, you're all about service. That's about who you are. If you grew up in that as your background suggested, I applaud you for that. We obviously have a little bit of hospitality that drives our market back behind me.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we're at the point, it's kind of like freelance, right? Like, I've kind of like pointed you in certain directions. We've gone in there. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about you think would be very useful for everybody today? And keep in mind that we get more playbacks on this live interview. So is there anything you've done in your background or anything you'd suggest or anything we're leaving out that you'd really like to just touch on? Anything you do with your clients?
Well, I think one of the most important things, if you are doing anything right now, is it is a chance to be a market expert. I believe that there are so many agents that just ride on the fact that they know a lot of people, or this is all just going to fall in their lap. And for so many agents, it has for so long. We've been on the upward climb forever, practically, So take the time to be a market expert and get that information out there to your market. And you don't have to be everything to everyone. Okay. I am not super social. I am not going to be at the neighborhood venue. Okay. I would rather sit in Inman and read articles for 5 hours than go to a local barbecue. That's who I am. Be who you are and get that out there, because there will be an attrition of agents and the cream will rise to the top. And this is your opportunity. And I cannot say that strongly enough. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for agents to really change the trajectory of their real estate career. So harness it, listen, call your coaches, get on 50 webinars. In EXP, just so you know, we now have 60-day training passes, and we have some of the top agents all over the United States. With us, we were in a theater of 450 agents yesterday, listening to the top producing agent out of Oklahoma, who closes, I think, 500 in GCI a month, telling us what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't take notes fast enough. So, if you don't have that opportunity, reach out to an EXP agent and, get that guest pass, because we've got people jumping in there. Just train, be the best you can be.
Yep.
I love the fact that, be who you are, right? Yeah. If there's one theme in life, you do you better than you do anybody else. So you might as well be you. And I think a lot of agents will like second guess, but I think what you shared was perfect, that you would rather spend 5 hours doing research and admin and stuff like that. And there's other people on the call that would much rather be at that social gathering, that barbecue and things like that. And yet plugging that in as to what works for you, absolutely huge. That's a huge takeaway for me right there. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your schedule. I know you've got a lot going on, especially, right now, based on what I'm hearing, I don't hear you guys on the 6-week holiday. So if you could give me one piece of advice of what I could do this week to move my business forward on top of what you just shared, whether it's one of the items you already said or something else, what would you say, Joe, focus on this week?
I would say double down on lead gen, triple down on lead gen.
Yeah.
Call everybody you know and their mother, call your database 5 times, call every expired, just make the calls, do the work, put it in. We have people that are saying you should be doing lead gen for 5 hours a day. If you're not doing anything else, you need to be lead generating, because it's, build that pipeline. Time to take your unfair share, as they say. Yep.
And it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business to do this. This is, everybody's got a level playing field. I know during the 2007, 2008 collapse, here in Vegas, a lot of our clients, they left. I mean, they lost their homes, they left town. And so almost it was rebuilding a database. And we don't know what's going to happen as a result of this. However, we do know that there are going to be agents who are going to come out of this way better than they came into it. And I think it comes down to what you're saying. You know, if somebody puts their head down for 5 hours, they're going to find opportunities in spite of their skill set, right?
Right. And the one thing I will say that I learned from the last downturn is that, and we started about 1.5 years ago, really starting to stockpile cash reserves, making sure, you know, hammering down our budget, knowing exactly where we were financially in our business, making sure that we had enough in reserve to continue operations if something happened. We didn't know what was going to happen, but we knew something was going to happen because something always does happen. I didn't see a virus coming. This, I have to say, this was a bit of a surprise, but this is not what I was thinking about and keep my eyes on things. But at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, because it enables us to think a little bit more clearly about what we need to get done, instead of thinking, holy crap, how am I going to pay for groceries? How am I going to pay my electricity bills? So how are we going to, but anyway, that's my thing, is just remember to learn from our experiences and come out bigger and stronger and better than we ever were before.
Absolutely.
Daily videos, take control of your showings and your buyers. Training, I've got education, training, build out funnels. Let's see, reaching out to the database, the setting up the 28-day market report, cleaning up your drip campaigns, getting your clients all set up on active searches for the neighborhood, double down, triple down on lead gen, become a market expert, 5 hours a day of lead gen. I mean, I've got, I don't know, you can't see it on because of my birthday.
It just walks you away.
I've got a full page of notes right here, and I'll tell you what, anybody who watches this video will be glad they took the time to do it. David and Robert, you guys are absolutely outstanding. We appreciate your time. We will get you a copy of this video so you can go ahead and utilize this as you deem necessary in your marketing or your own training. We do appreciate your time, guys. All the best.
Thank you.
Great talking
Talk
with
to you
you.
soon.
Take
Thanks
care.
so much for having me.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.